Welcome to YGV Kannadiga. Please subscribe, click the bell icon and set it to all for more updates. Okay, let's start now.
All right, let's get right into it. We're about to uncover a story that honestly beats inside every single one of us. This isn't your typical history lesson, all dates and dry documents. No, this is the untold story of the Indian heartbeat. And it all kicks off with a really powerful promise. Wow, just think about that for a second. We became kings and queens in 1950. See, 1947 gave us freedom. Sure, that was political. But 1950? That's when the real power was put right into our hands. So this whole explainer, it's all about that moment. It's about how you became royalty in your own country.
Think about it, right? You buy a new phone, it comes with a user manual. A new TV? User manual. But what about the most important thing you have? Your freedom. Well, this story is that manual. It's the reason you can pick your own career, say what you think, or even just have a friendly argument without looking over your shoulder. So yeah, this is way more than just a history lesson. It's basically the instruction booklet for your everyday life.
Okay, so let's do a little time traveling. Come on, picture this. We're not going to a battlefield. Instead, imagine a quiet room. It's 1948. You can almost smell the old paper and hear nothing but the scratching of fountain pens. In that room, a promise was being written. A promise for 1 billion people they'd never even meet. People just like you and me.
Now this slide really gets to the heart of it. It's about this massive fundamental shift. For 200 years, people here were subjects. And what's a subject? Well, you're told what to do, you follow orders, you don't get a say, you don't have a real choice. But the dream that was being written in that room, it was to turn every single subject into a citizen. And a citizen has a voice, has a choice, and, this is the big one, has the power to shape the future. We're talking about a complete rewiring of a whole society's identity. It's huge.
But, it wasn't as simple as just writing down a few laws. Not at all. The challenge they faced was immense. The pen in their hands literally carried the weight of centuries of history and all the hopes of a future they could only imagine. The real fight, it turns out, wasn't just against the British who had left. It was against something way older and much, much deeper.
And this is it. This is the true battle. It was a struggle against our own shadows, our own internal demons, inequality, caste, all of it. Just think about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar for a minute. This was a man who didn't just study law from a book, he had lived with human pain. He knew firsthand what it felt like to be pushed aside. And he knew deep in his bones that for this whole thing to work, the person at the very, very back of the line had to feel just as powerful as the person at the very front. That right there was the heart of the mission.
So the big question is, how did they pull it off? How did they meet this unbelievable challenge? Well, that's what we're jumping into next. We're going to look at the monumental choices they made, the actual promises they forged in ink that would go on to become the very soul of this new republic.
Okay, so first things first. The most fundamental choice they had to make was, what is India going to be? A kingdom? Where all the power is with one person, a king, which can so easily turn into a tyranny, or a republic. They chose republic. And why? Because in a republic, the power doesn't sit with some king on a throne. It belongs to the people. It belongs to you, to me, to all of us.
And let me tell you, they did not rush this. 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. Just let that sink in. That's almost 3 full years. That's how long they spent debating, arguing, literally fighting over every single word. And you gotta ask why. Because they knew they weren't just writing some document. They were building a bridge for all the generations they'd never meet. And they knew that foundation had to be perfect.
Now get this. This next part was absolutely revolutionary for its time. Think about it. In so many other developed countries, women, minorities, the poor, they had to fight for decades, sometimes centuries, just to get the right to vote. But here, the founders just said, nope, we're starting with equality. Full stop. From day one, every single adult citizen got a voice. That one decision completely changed the DNA of this entire society. It was a radical act of faith and peace.
Which, of course, brings us to a really tough question. It's a question every single democracy has to grapple with, and it really tests what a nation is made of. So what happens when the majority wants something that really hurts a minority? Who wins in that fight?
And the answer they came up with was just so clear, so powerful. It wasn't the majority, it wasn't the minority. The law wins. The truth wins. The core principles of justice, written right into the Constitution, that is the final judge.
And that simple idea established that the law is above everyone, no exception.
All right, so that's the history. But let's fast forward. How do those decisions, made in some quiet, candlelit room 70-something years ago, actually affect us today, right now, in 2026? Because this whole idea of a republic, it's not some dusty old thing in a museum. It's alive, it's breathing. You know, if I had to pick one word for the republic today, it would be resilience. In a world that's getting torn apart by digital wars and misinformation, India's carving out this amazing new path as a digital republic. And I'm not just talking buzzwords. Think about UPI. It's totally changed how millions of us handle money. It's incredible. We're seeing an ancient civilization take the lead in using future tech to empower every single citizen.
And this really gets to the core of it. This quote says it all. It's about a shift in mindset, right? You can see the impact of the Republic in the confidence of young Indians. Just picture a girl in a tiny village sitting with a tablet learning how to code. She's not just receiving something, she's creating something. That is the Republic in action. That's what it means to be hosting the dinner.
So what's the big takeaway after all these years? Well, lots of people predicted a country as diverse as India would just shatter into a million pieces. But it didn't. We held together. And why? Because that piece of paper, the one they spent nearly 3 years perfecting, it turned out to be stronger than any sword.
And that brings us to the final chapter. And honestly, it's the most important part. Because this story, it didn't stop in 1950. Not even close. It's still being written every single day. And now, well, now the pen has been passed to us, to you. This is a really powerful way to think about it. Freedom is like a garden. It's not some stone monument you just look at and admire once in a while. No, it's a living, breathing thing. And if you don't water it every single day with your attention, your participation, your voice, the weeds will grow. And those weeds are things like hate and ignorance and apathy.
So, what does it actually mean to water the garden? It means living these values every day. First, justice. And that's not just for the courts. It's about being fair in our own hearts and actions. Then there's liberty, the freedom to just be you. And finally, fraternity. And that's just the simple but powerful idea of remembering that no matter what, we're all one big family.
So, we're going to leave you with this final question. And this isn't just me asking, it's a direct challenge passed down through the generations. They did their part. They did the impossible, really. They built this incredible machine of freedom and gave us the user manual. So now the question is, can you keep it? Can we keep it alive and well?
So let's remember that, today and every day. The real way to celebrate isn't just to salute a flag. It's to salute the spirit inside every single citizen, that spirit of justice, of liberty, and of family. Jai Hind.